Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a reading video. I I feel like there's some things that have come up in my head, so I feel like it'll be things that'll be part of the reading. At the bottom of the deck, from the Archangel Oracle, all is well, Archangel Jeremiel, everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to, with hidden blessings you'll soon understand. My card that I pulled before this video is Passion, Archangel Haniel. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. I feel like there will be some reworkings too. There's like warmer colors, like the purple in this card, and this is kind of like a berry or maroon color. I haven't been working too much since I've been at my godmother's. Um, so today was a little different because I am watching my aunt right now, and so I pop in to make sure everything is okay. I do have to do, I do have a couple of things that I do daily for her. Sorry, that was kind of jumbled up. But today I kind of woke up a little earlier. My sleep schedule is, there is not much of a sleep schedule. So in my brain, like, I did wake up a little earlier today, and it's definitely not early, but I woke up earlier than I did the other days. I feel like when I was younger and I was on like a summer break or spring break, and I would sleep in maybe until 3. I tend to do a lot of stuff at night or past midnight, and it is past midnight right now, a little, well, a couple hours past midnight, and I feel really awake around these times, and I feel like I feel well. Um, 4 a.m. is a time where I don't really feel that drowsy. Um, but when I wake up like at 7 a.m., I don't really like it. Um, just just to say, I I did wake up like at 11, so it's not early, but I I kept falling asleep like around 5 to 7. I think I slept for a couple hours because I was trying to do other things, but my body was confused. There's also like direction and intention. Um, I do have to get back to my friend, she is an author of Italian folk magic, and I was in a metaphysical shop that relocated to this area, so it's just a couple of minutes away from me. And they sell that book, and I was talking about her and her book, and the shop owners love the book. Um, so they were like, we would like to interview her, and I'm like, um, they were asking me to ask her, so will def I will definitely relay the message. Um, this area is a heavily populated Italian area. So there is that aspect, but it's also there's a lot of things ingrained in the book that it's just a enjoyable, personal, insightful read, and I'm really happy about the news, and I hope she finds it well. There's also there's like energy of it's now your turn in a way, or there just seems to be like the clockwork that is in play. Um, Especially with things like coming to you. It's up to you what you do with it. Certain things you feel that it's up your alley, and then other things it's okay to say no. It's okay that you'll find something or someone and feel that there is just an incompatibility there, and there isn't any ill intention with that. It just feels like the choice is yours to see where it's going to head. Um, it kind of reminds me, it's interesting. So the first card is the Judgment card from the Slavic Legends Tarot. And I was feeling like there is a connection that goes with this on when I go upstairs or and I maybe get food that my godmother prepared when she is here, when she isn't here. Um, I eat on my own. I don't eat with anybody. I and when someone's eating upstairs, I eat here, like in the basement. So there is that away energy too, but it kind of feels like it's coming back to self and origin. Um, and the word compass is coming out. With the judgment card in this deck specifically, it just seems like, when um, someone plays an instrument and then it controls the snake that comes out of its where it's what it's in. Usually, I feel like I've seen these things like it scenes in baskets, like the snake in the basket, and then it starts to react to the music if that's what it's doing. Um, there seems to be like a control here with things awakening in the judgment card, and that's one of the general meanings that you can get from the judgment card as like an awakening card. And for me, it just seems like it's towards the end of the major arcana, so it's 20, and it just is if just everything in life, everything that you've done, it comes down to that moment. And it really reminds me of when you're in the final days of maybe a battle and it's all that preparation and the things that you've done, maybe the things that you should have done or um, that you knew about, but you didn't do anything that may have benefited that. Um, it's all coming into play, and even the training that you've, like the hours that you've spent, it comes down to that moment. And if it passes, or like in a way where there's a victory there, it goes to the world card, and the world card would be the last card, and then you have the Fool again, because Fool's zero. Right now, I feel like there could be misunderstandings that come up. So it's also for you to do the research on it, or for you to really gauge either the person or the situation or all the things that you take into account to make a well-informed decision, because things can be easily misinterpreted, and then sometimes it's actually good to let things pass in a way. um, Sometimes no response is good, that you're not putting the energy or attention towards it when it's not necessary, because it might just be one of those things where it propels you to the next thing forward. Sometimes when you receive something, it could be news or a letter, uh, news in form of a letter. Um, you kind of look at it and you're like, well, well, if you have to respond, respond in if you want to, but maybe it might be important to do that. But if it isn't, like you can look at it and say, well, if I respond, it makes the situation not good. Um, if I try to go against the grain or kind of report it in case it's kind of discriminating news or news that it doesn't have the right type of energy towards it or to it. Um, and yet it's not openly clear. Like if somebody tries to sabotage a situation or you, and you don't really have evidence or anything to back it up, you can't just report it. Like if you know that somebody might have done a crime or whatever, well, like whatever, but um, and then you're thinking maybe I should report it, and then you report it, and then the police or whoever you reported it to look into it, but the steps don't really move forward because there hasn't been evidence to sustain what was said or what was done in reaction to it. So there could be things of trying to maneuver, but with the judgment card, I feel like it's a strong card for this reading because it seems like there's more control over the situation than you know. And I think based off of the actions, it causes a reaction, and people can respond well to this if they see, especially the house, like the solidity of that response or the actions that you're taking, and seeing that it's coming from viewing everything from different areas. And it's interesting with it being Scorpio season. It kind of feels like energy that mixes with air and water, or like Libra and Scorpio energy. We were just in Libra season because with Scorpio, I'm not saying it's for every situation, and it everyone is their own individual person with different personalities. There's a tendency of when something cuts a Scorpio deep, they will go lengths to make it known that things were definitely not okay when those actions or precautions or what have you were taken. Um, really deeply invested in finding a way to portray that or to make those feelings known, that um, the severity of those consequences or the actions that were taken. Also, Archangel Jeremiel is linked to Scorpio, so that could be an archangel to look into, especially really bringing things to light and almost calming the waters. Scorpio's heavy water energy, extremely heavy water energy, and I'll start pulling it, turning over more cards. It'll be good to be able to tame those waters. And not saying that you're holding back necessarily. You can be, depending on what the situation is and how you want to respond to it. Because even if you do not, if you don't put a lot of response into something, it can go a long way. It can be how you respond. This card hasn't shown up in a while. It's the Lovers card, and it's from the Angel Tarot, Archangel Raphael. Intimate relationships, carefully weigh your decisions, could help. It seems like there could be that type of energy too. Lovers is a card that's linked to Gemini. It's not a Gemini reading, I'll just say that. But it's a general reading. Technically, it's my Ukrainian reading, but whatever. And I feel like it's also being able to tame those energies, those aspects of yourself, and really getting to know it like the back of your hand, as if you're looking at it through a reflection. Gemini doesn't necessarily have to represent two people that are involved with each other. It could be different aspects of yourself. And in getting to know yourself, it's also grounding yourself and being able to prepare for different types of battles that you'll be going through in life. Is the other card is the Ten of Fire, the Ten of Wands. Too much work, accept help from others, life is out of balance, stress related health concerns. I feel like it's kind of giving to this other person if it is a relationship part of it. I think it can be a love reading. Um, Maybe I should tell the tales because I love the storyteller as type of archetype in misinterpretations, but this is awakening, but it is the hanged man, Archangel Gabriel. Look at things from a different perspective. A temporary standstill, it's important to be yourself. With the King of Air, the King of Swords, brilliant, impartial, professional, diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence, seek out professional advice, balance mental and emotional considerations. So I feel like it's a really interesting combination with the this being the King of Swords, the King of Air, with the Hanged Man, because the King of Swords seems like it's taking its time before it makes a move. It doesn't want to be partial because you see that it's impartial there. There's a lot of unicorns that represent the swords energy. So it could be nice to look into um, some metaphysical meanings of uh, unicorn. There's a lot of concentration here with the horn, so it makes sense that it's part of the sword suit in here. Um, Either animal totem or cryptozoology. Uh, I mean, Scotland, their animal is the unicorn, so it's fun for that. But maybe there is like a scenario where I could just put out a story and you could see how much you resonate with it. I'm still pulling, well, turning over the cards, but I, for my readings, I do tend to talk. So I'll just put my brain to work and think of like a storyline. So the characters are Chair Senpai and Karakun, and then obviously like Adrian Chan. And so Chair Senpai comes up to me and is like, I see you've been hanging out with Karakun lately. And then I'm like, well, Chair Senpai, it's not what you think. I just go out and I drive and we run errands, and sometimes I go to different places to knit, and I like to get my fancy drinks sometimes because I like to try the new seasonal drinks that come out. I do like the apple flavors, and I do like pumpkin. I like warmer flavors. Gingerbread too. So, and then Chair Senpai is just like, well, I feel like you should be spending time at the house and just sitting and knitting and doing your other things here. And then it maybe turns into one of those things because they do tend to revert back to childhood. Adrian John, remember 15 years ago when you made this promise to me, and obviously, since it's a promise, you wouldn't break it, right? And then I'm like, of course, that's exactly what I was thinking, and that's why I stayed true to myself, I stayed true to us. And I remember 15 years ago when you were just a stool still growing, and now you're a chair, and the whole future is ahead of us. And so there's nothing to worry about there. So there is that type of interaction of just being able to move with things. And that could be somebody's story. It doesn't have to be, but it's just one of those examples where um, something could be misinterpreted. And I I spend a lot of time by myself, so that's where that story came from. But the other cards, you have the King of Wands, so it's another court card. I feel like there is a good relationship between this King of Wands and the King of Swords, King of Air. You have the Six of Cups, which can really be linked to the past. There's like a lot of deep in thought energy, and I really feel like it comes from like the Scorpio type of season too. So those were the present energies. It's something that the Six of Cups is in the present. So it can be bringing up stuff in the past. And that could be another thing too, that sometimes we tend to remember things that might have maybe been necessary to remember before, but it could also be because it has harmed us in the past and it's not something that we necessarily let go. And it's interesting because, sorry, interesting, that the Libra and Scorpio energy really feel like they kind of interact a lot here. Even though I also said the King of Air, the King of Swords, and the King of Wands are ones that are part of that compatibility too. So there is some type of interaction there that work well with each other. But as for concentrating on things that have happened, like remember 4 score and 7 years ago when you did this and I just I just think about it sometimes and I just feel so wronged for everything that has happened. And if you feel like you're in that situation, it it's something to really mentally note because I feel that you either work through it. If you feel like there is no way that I'm letting this go, I'm not saying you have to like forget about what happened, but if you want to stay in that situation and that thing still makes you want to attack the other energy involved, and it doesn't have to be you, it could be the other person. I feel like it could be the other person too. um, that it might not be the most productive thing and the healthiest thing, and I feel like that's what the King of Swords is trying to awaken with the Awaken or the Hanged Man card, because they're trying to find a solution for it. And it can be trying to redirect the anger in some way or to transform it into something else. So, being able to work with the things that you know about yourself and how you handle these types of situations, I think it could go a long way. I talk about animal totems in multiple videos. I do really enjoy them. And I feel like it's a way that the world speaks to me and the way that I understand a lot of things because I see how the animals live, and even with the everyday things in life and the big things in life, you can always learn something. But the overall energy is the Empress card. This is really big moves or like slow moving energy. And it's even coming out of the Hanged Man energy. That's what the King of Swords is trying to see how would be the best way to come about this. The Empress card feels like there's a lot of growing that has been happening or has been shifting. And I feel like the Scorpio season is a good time to look at those things that we tried to just ostracize or keep in a closet and not want to deal with it. But I feel like there is some type of reward that comes out of it. That once you bring that thing out of the closet and work on it and being able to see how you'll be able to move forward, it will shift the energy. And it does remind me of like being particular about things too. There's a lot of intention, especially with the King of Swords right now. And I'm also feeling like kind of renovations. If it's not physical, it can be the type of ambiance or type of maybe like feng shui that you have in your physical environment or even in your mental space too. Because some things can really, if you know this, like what really sets you off. And I feel like it's not a bad thing to know what you like and what you dislike. It definitely helps. And when you get to know yourself, I feel like it's easier to get to know other people too, if that's what you're trying to do. Um, there's this thing, like certain colors, or I know I got a pack of stitch markers because I don't know where my stitch markers are. I have some on me, but I feel like a lot of it, the majority is in my storage unit. And I usually go for like the neutral stuff because it I stay focused on the stuff that I'm working on. But the stitch markers that I got, it was the only one that was available at the time when I went to the store. And it has like pastel rainbow, and I do like that. So I think it's kind of fun and it's different. Um, it's preference. I also don't really like raisins, so I tend to avoid it in food, like cinnamon rolls or like oatmeal cookies. I love rum raisin ice cream, but I don't eat the raisins in it, and I just like end up picking out the raisins. I like raisins though. It's just like one of those specific things. Um, it's good to know the quirks about yourself. And we have the Justice card here as the obstacle with the Ten of Pentacles. Um, the cards keep falling. I don't want to press a button by accident. And I do feel that timing is important. And another thing, because I feel like a lot of everyday experiences teach me things. Like sometimes I didn't read the manual of my car. I don't think a lot of people do, but maybe they do. And when I'm driving, I just see like buttons and I think about what does this button do? And then I just tell myself, Adrian, it's probably not the best time to experiment with that right now, even though I don't feel like that'll necessarily harm me when I'm driving, but just to be on the safe side for myself and for others. So the obstacle, the justice, and the Ten of Pentacles. For this, I feel like the King of Wands assists the King of Swords because the words that I'm getting is like help is on the way. And there's a rootedness with the Ten of Pentacles, and I feel like it can link to the Six of Cups because it goes back generations and generations and generations. So this could be finding justice or finding that peace, and that's why it keeps reverting back with the Six of Cups. but I think it's something to say with all as well. I know there's gonna be losses, but I don't want to say but. It it seems like there's a reassuring energy, and I want to say that in a respectful way because I already feel like I already butchered that, so I'm so sorry that it came out like that, but um or not but because I'm not trying to justify what I said. There's something to say about the all is well card. How to overcome the obstacle is the Eight of Pentacles with the Queen of Swords. We also have, I showed the Empress already. I feel like they're closely related. And Empress can link to Libra too. Queen of Swords can link to Libra. And it kind of interchanges with like Libra and Taurus for the Empress card for a lot of cases. King of Wands, since I'm talking about signs, can be Leo. King of Air, King of Swords can be Aquarius. And that seems like it's the balance of the air and water that I've been feeling for this reading. And even with the Queen of Swords, it's alchemizing or it's trying to make something from something else. Eight of Pentacles, how to overcome the obstacle. It seems like seasons are working and it's going to take time to get the results because you see that there's a tractor and it's helping with making cash crop. So it's definitely not a quick energy, but it comes from the Seven of Pentacles. So it can also be interpreted as already taking the resources, but since it's like a barren energy, it might be using the resources wisely or to your advantage, and that's why the Queen of Swords is there. That goes with this because the Seven of Pentacles is more of like a cultivating energy, and the Eight of Pentacles is as if it it's more of a harvest or there's a familiarity of maybe routine or doing something, and it's almost like if you've been doing a job for X amount of years or you've experienced certain things for a certain amount of time where you've gotten the skill to know what you're doing. That's what the Eight of Pentacles feels like. The cards that kind of came towards me, the past, you have the Seven of Pentacles, so it seems like maybe you received your pay for the month or for the paycheck, um, and it's being able to manage it so that it could last until the next time around when the crops are grown again. And then the feature card is the Four of Swords. I'm getting that this mental conflict, it doesn't heal overnight because you see that there's one after another, and it could actually be, you know, those certain visions or certain dreams or thoughts that kind of brew in our heads, and when we're in a good position and then randomly those thoughts just trickle in. Um, it's good to be aware of what's real and what isn't, or what has happened and what the present is at right now, the present. Um, defining things and knowing where the place is for each one of those things, I feel will help you organize and kind of give way or like feng shui into how you can act accordingly and how to make sure that everything has a place. And if it doesn't have a place, then maybe it doesn't need to be in that area. So some of the other Oracle cards, Archangel Oracle cards. Archangel Ariel, your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. Moon cycles, Archangel Haniel. Notice the moon affects your energy and manifestations and capitalize on these cycles. I feel like there are certain things, and that could be even the messages that I was talking about earlier on what you do with them. And some might be for you, and some might just be there. So it's up to you to see where you're categorizing it in your life, if it does belong in your life. So with the moon cycles, it looks like something might be setting off that mental state because with the Four of Swords, it's still not the earliest stages, but it's almost midway for 1 through 10, Ace through 10 of the Minor Arcana. So there's still things that need to be done. The Empress there, I feel that the experience comes into play and things start making sense the more you analyze your life choices and the memories and everything. It's almost like filing your thoughts and memories, as I said. You have brilliant idea, Archangel Uriel. Your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your ideas to fruition. Sometimes it's also looking at things or facing them head on. There were, because this is a basement and there were spider crickets, they tend to like areas where, like the bathroom, where it is more damp sometimes. And so it's like, well, you have to do things in the bathroom. You can't just avoid it unless I go all the way somewhere else to do other things. But there's a strength that can come about when you know more things about yourself. And that sounded kind of generic, I'm sorry, but it has been something that has been showing up in this reading or replaying. So I didn't want to go too deeply into repeating it, but I can repeat things. There's the Seven of Wands and the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords shows up again in the Slavic Legends Tarot, and then it was in the Glory to Ukraine Tarot. There is something about like keeping a straight face, and it looks like there's doing what needs to be done in order to overcome certain challenges. Because the Seven of Wands can be a card that it's rising above things that can be there and cause an uproar. The Queen of Swords with this composure, it seems like it could almost be scary to encounter the Queen of Swords because not always, but it's going certain lengths and doing things that are necessary to get the outcome that she or he is looking for. We have angel therapy. Archangel Raphael, give your cares and worries to his angels and allow us to take your burden. I feel like that goes with the Archangel Dreamiel card with all is well. Because it seems like there's energy of higher ground. Like you're not taking the easy way out. You're not, it's like you're not harming others to get to the point of elevating yourself. It's, there does seem to be a sense of fairness, and the Queen of Swords, Libra, can be linked to the Justice card too. It's not in this reading. Um, but it's one of those main character type of energies, or the one that's taking the lead for this in this situation. Empress Major Arcana, Justice Major Arcana. Oh, Justice is here. I'm so sorry. So Justice is an obstacle again, as I said earlier, and um, it can be forgetting the position that you hold and seeing maybe what the capabilities are, or of yourself, or what another person does. It can also be being able to hold the power. There's something about, there is a softness to this energy, and the Queen of Swords here. Something almost yielding, because say if you're like yielding in love and you have the Ace of Cups with the Temperance, I feel like these are solid examples for this. That maybe another person is having a hard time and they're trying not to react to you specifically, or trying not to like get like I'm gonna say release your anger, but of course there's another way of saying it. But with the King of Swords, and that could be counterparts with the Queen of Swords too, um and not taking it personally. Like if there was something like a memory that happened in the past, and thinking about ways that there could have been more resolution towards it, I feel like there's a yielding energy where it softens the situation instead of making it more of an aggressive tone. It's like the title is there and it can't be taken. Those are the specific, a specific theme for that. Like maybe if you're really invested in someone or like something, and maybe the other person took it the wrong way, where you were so eager to talk to them, and it's like maybe they were going through something and it wasn't for you to disregard what they were going through, but it was almost like maybe the other person was thinking, oh well, they're not caring that I need some space, or but the other person wasn't. Well, maybe they could have thought about that more of the time, but maybe they were thinking like we could try to heal this together, like with the Lovers card and the Gemini card. I feel like there's like sorry energy that comes from this too. That there's a turn of events that made some things unfortunate. So with the Judgment card, there might be a revival. If you don't want a revival, of course, you don't need to go that direction, but I feel like there's something there for that. So you have the Six of Cups, and again, the Hanged Man with the King of Swords, and it can be something to think about when all is well. I'll read the last two cards. So you have outdoors, Archangel Jopiel, go outside, get some fresh air, and connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. With Hello from Heaven, Archangel Azrael, your loved ones in heaven are doing fine. Let go of worries and feel their loving blessings. With these, I'm feeling like taking a breather might be a good thing. Like if you feel like you're super stressed or your breathing is um almost like hyperventilating type of breathing, like it's not controlled breathing. I feel like because the outdoors card, it seems to come up in, well, it's in this deck too. So in the past, I would kind of look at that card and I'm thinking, well, I guess I could go outdoors. But I feel like one of the main messages can be making sure that you're level headed, like you clear not only your head but the space around you. That sometimes changing up the environment can be, or changing up the situation too, can be beneficial for both people. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in another video. Bye.